Have you ever wondered how one or how a person started his or her leadership journey? Because I did. And I thought I could maybe walk you through my leadership journey a little bit because it was not as linear as you maybe think. And so if that's what you want to see, then just keep watching. My leadership journey was not like the linear one, so that I woke up in the morning and said, I want to be a leader one day. Yeah, I was in a role as a supply chain manager in a very great organization. And I was led by two very admirable leaders. They were I looked kind of always up to them. And I was confronted once with a situation where I was able to take on a very big project, and I said yes. So I definitely had the skill set and so on, but in the course of the project, I figured out, okay, you have the skill set, but girl, your personality needs to grow. And that's why I was confronted the first time really with leadership, because before I got my stuff done, but I didn't necessarily use leadership skills for it, or just a tiny amount of leadership skills. And this was the point where the first time my skill set was more developed than my personality. So I had to grow my personality. And that's what they said to me. They said, Tanja, you need to use leadership skills, otherwise this project will fail. And at that time I had a very nice mentor. Yeah, I admire him to this day, to be honest. And he also said, yeah, Tanja, I can help you with culture and with the people, but you have to develop your leadership skills. And I said, okay, if 3 very great people that I'm looking up to telling me this, I should maybe discover my leadership skills. And that's what I did. So then I started to read books, and also to figure out, okay, what is expected by a leader and how does this suit me? And yeah, I was also put in a position to hire new people. So, because this project involved also transferring activities that were done on one side to another. And I also had to hire a team for that. And I had to figure out, okay, what should my team look like? What skills do I need in my future team? And I had to hire 5 people. So it's not that I had to hire just 1 or 2. So I had to hire 5. And so this was then my next one. So I never grew that much in my whole career than in this 2 years. So for me, this is definitely my, my corporate career peak. And also from a learning perspective as a leader, it was, kind of the biggest experience I was able to take, to be honest, because I'm very thankful in a retro perspective, but it was really, really hard when I did this. Yeah, so I was really happy to have these 3 mentors supporting me here and holding my hand whenever it was necessary. I'm not sure if I'm able to or if I'm allowed to say their names. That's why I keep it a little bit, random. I figured out, by reading books and so on. I also have the discussion over and over again in my network and so on. Your employer needs to give you some leadership trainings and so on. But to be honest, when you have the leadership training, when you already have people, from my point of view, it's too late. Yeah, because why should they suffer because you are a new leader? Yeah, I was also once in a position where I was working for a manager. She got in this role by, I want to say accident, but she was not really the best fit, let's say it that way. She also said that, so she communicated this very obvious, and she said always, it's my first time as a leader and I'm so insecure. And I said, so whenever I have people to lead, I will never let them suffer because of my inabilities. So that's why I tried always to be one step ahead. Yeah. So whenever I saw an issue coming up, that I was prepared for the situation. For me, for example, it was unusual to work with working moms. Yeah. And I had to figure out, okay, what does a working mom needs from me as a leader? Because I don't have any working moms, and also no working moms in my environment that have no family around, because these were all internationals. And so I had to read some books and figure out what do they need. Yeah, it's because I really like to work with working moms. Yeah, because they are very well organized, and what I figured, the environment is much better, yeah, and so that's why I really like that, and I try to do my best as a leader to be the leader they need, yeah. And it was a very interesting journey, and I was really challenged a lot, and I was kind of discovered, yeah. So you see the back end now, and now I'm telling you how I get there. I was kind of discovered because these two people that I worked for, they said, yeah, Tanja, we guess you have a talent there. And I said, what? I have a talent for leadership, for leading people? To be honest, guys, I can't imagine that. And then they put me in this position step by step to really lead a team, yeah. And that's where I am now. Yeah, so so for me it was not the purpose to lead a team and to inspire people, because it's one thing when everyone is committed. Yeah, you hire them, everyone is motivated. Is one thing. Yeah, so this is what I then mastered, kind of. Also, I found a solution for the working mom topic to develop some understanding for them, to figure out what they need and what they don't need, and so on. And I was so surprised how well organized they are. So it was really incredible. And also they were so proactive, never had that before. After this experience, I kind of qualified for leading my first team. So having direct reports, not only reporting me functionally to me, but also, as a direct report where you have all this added layers of leadership that you can imagine. For example, you have to also handle all the regular reviews, mid-year review, quarterly review, end-year review. You have to go through all the HR processes whenever you have to hire someone, when you want to promote someone, when you change someone's job description, when someone wants more salary. So this is all the stuff, yeah. And this is all processes that are very long and enduring, I have to admit, yeah. So not only in smaller companies, in larger companies, it even gets worse. I was really surprised how it feels when the former leader or the former leader they reported to, because my role was kind of open for a long time, so they got kind of addressed to another leader to report to in the meantime, so because you have to also from organizational perspective put them somewhere in the system that no one hangs around without any responsible manager, also for approving the holiday requests and so on. And it was really a hard time to bring my team back to me because it's not, you have this 5 levels of leadership when the people, when you really want to lead and not manage, are different. If you really want to lead, you have to ensure people follow you, yeah. And when the former manager is not really letting them go, it's also not so easy to dive in or to step in the role you're supposed to have. And take that over, So, and I really had to figure out at the beginning. So this is then the difference between hiring a team, and taking over an existing team. And this was really a challenge also, then to make sure they find me interesting, they find me capable, so I felt like I had to convince them to work with me in the first place, to figure out what they can have out of me, because, guys, this is a Gen Z team, or this was a Gen Z team, now it's a millennial and Gen Z team, but it was a Gen Z team at that time, and they really had some interesting thoughts on how leadership looks and doesn't look like. So I think I will also make a dedicated podcast episode just regarding Gen Z, and is Gen Z really not employable? So this one, I think this is will also lead sooner or later on my agenda, because this was really a challenge to convince them and to show them. So you're reporting to me, and this is a different. With Gen Z it works a little bit differently. Let's say it that way. So. Yeah, so that's basically my leadership journey. So I kind of got pushed to it, So, and also for the role as a manager, when I took over that team, I was kind of pushed into, so, and to be honest, I'm very thankful that other people did this, it was at the end 3 people who pushed me into this, and I'm very thankful for that, for the opportunity, and also for the stuff that you learn about yourself. And to be honest, what I find harder is to stay a good leader than to become a good leader, because you have to figure out always new ways to reinvent yourself, to grow your personality, and also to grow as a leader, so get better every day, and also to figure out what suits you as a person, because you have always your added layer as well, because the people is realizing when you're faking it, so you have to be authentic, you have to be honest, especially with Gen Z people, so they are very good mirror. During my time in Vipassana, I had a very interesting discussion with one guy who said, Tanja, I'm figuring out at the moment my journey. So I think he was 30 he was, so obviously Gen Z. And he said, Tanja, I'm figuring out my journey at the moment, so I don't know what I want to do. So this is very often the case, that you find people, they are very successful in Vipassana and they want to change, or they just come out of uni or have finished their degree in somehow and want to figure out what to do with it. And I think he was one of the second one. He just finished his degree and wants to start a career, and he said, I have no idea how to work in this big companies and what I want to do. And then I said, so what is your aspiration? What do you like to do? And he said, or what are you afraid of? And then he said, I'm afraid that I will find a leader, or I will end up with a person that is just giving me top-down goals and is not inspiring. And I said, welcome to my world. I can really see how you are suffering, to be honest, because I know how it is to have a not inspiring leader, and this is not good. So I have to kind of try and to stay the inspiring leader the people need, Otherwise, they are not really bound to deliver results, and also not to work on their own careers, because when you stuck as a leader and not develop further, they also stuck, I also have some leadership books, so I'm really trying to rely on books and my own development. I was once I had already two leadership trainings provided by the company, but to be honest, they are not that good. I never heard in a leadership course anything that I didn't know before. I mean, I did my last leadership course I did during Corona, so it was obviously virtual. Maybe it's that the people kind of rely on the networking, because my first leadership course I had before Corona, it was in 2016, I guess. There was a little bit different, so I'm still taking advantage of the network I had back then. So I think this was quite helpful, and I think the networking aspect and holding each other accountable aspect is way bigger and way more than the leadership course itself, because basically you can read through all of this, what you got taught there, in books, at least from my point of view. I think the very critical point of this leadership courses is to really apply it during the daily business, to really put this into action. I think that's the huge part. I had a quick look at my camera, and I'm talking since 17 minutes, so I think this is a good point to stop. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more of this content, because today I had obviously a bit more fun than yesterday, because yesterday this was kind of a spontaneous decision also to start a podcast at the 1st of October. Sometimes I have these wild ideas during the night, and then I put them into practice in the morning. So this is a little bit kind of a Tanja thing. yeah, let me know if you have some questions regarding this. Also regarding my leadership journey and how I went there. And to be honest, I'm very happy where I am right now. Yeah, so that I really started this journey and that I learned also a lot of it. Yeah, and yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe and share this podcast with whomever you think it's helpful. Yeah, and yeah, see you tomorrow then. Bye, guys.